Hi everyone, this is Giovanni Lizama from Missionary with an exclusive interview for immv.org. We're here today with Pastor Ernesto McKenzie in his home in Laurelton, and we're less than 1 week away from his missions trip to India, which takes place from February 13th through March 2nd, 2012. Pastor, thank you for having us in your home. It's a pleasure to be here and to speak to you about your upcoming trip. First, let's get started with missions. We have learned, and you teach, that people can get involved in missions in 4 ways. They can pray, they can give financially, they can send someone, or they can go themselves. Obviously, you're going to India. Why go? Why, for you, why go? And specifically, why the 1040 window?
Well, why go is because Jesus said, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. And he also said, go make disciples of every nation, of every tribe. And why specifically India? The reason India is because India is one of the main or principal countries of the 1040 window, or among the ranking number of countries that are yet to be reached with the gospel.
And is this your first time traveling to India?
No, sir.
No? When was the first time you traveled to India?
First time I traveled to India was 1995.
1995. And since then, has it gotten any easier to travel to India?
Not necessarily, but we managed to make it.
Now, what would you say, outside of the financial part, outside of the scheduling of your travel, your trips, all the administrative side of that, what would you say is the biggest challenge of traveling to India?
For me personally, the biggest hassle is the short amount of time and the vast number of people or places to visit and to minister.
Okay. And when you first got involved in missions, did you ever think that you would become a time traveler? Because going to India, you're going to be crossing time zones. You leave on the 13th, but you're really arriving there, is it the 14th or 15th?
15th.
On the 15th. And when you come back, you leave on the, is it the 1st or the 2nd?
First and arrive on the 2nd.
So not only are you involved in missions, but you also engage in time travel. So I must commend you with that. Now, the next question, will you be traveling alone?
No, sir. It's a team of 4 people, including myself.
Okay. Who else is going, of those 4, who else is going with you?
Okay, 2 female, 2 males, Reverend Pat Duncan, Bishop Hector Hunt, Pastor Albia, and myself.
Okay, so are you guys all set to go?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, excellent. Now, you know, with it's February 14th happens to be Valentine's Day, and you're going to be traveling with your wife for 24 hours. As a man, how do you justify that to your wife? Instead of going out to dinner, you put her on a plane for 24 hours.
Well, I sell her the idea that she will be in a romantic date for 24 hours up in the sky.
So she will be on cloud 9, right?
That's correct.
The next question is, Pastor, this is not your first trip, and it won't be your last to India. What are your expectations? What do you expect to see from this trip? What's your itinerary going to look like?
We're visiting the 3 southern states of India, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. And my expectation is to go, we will have crusades, mass crusades. We will have training for the pastors. We will visit the 2 schools that we support in 2 different areas in India, encourage the local workers, pray with them, bless them in many ways that we can.
How will you travel from state to state? Will you take a plane, a train? Will you be in a car? Will you be on a bike? How do you get around once you're there?
Well, we get around in a combination of air flight, train, and on the road, auto. Yes, sir.
So all of those?
All of the above.
Okay, now earlier when we talked about getting involved in missions, we said people can pray, give, send, or go. Now is the moment for you to give each one of those specific groups a special message as you prepare to leave on your trip. What would you say to your supporters, those who give financially to this trip?
To our supporters, I'll say thank you very much for your continued support, for believing in us, for believing in the vision, and for supporting it. And only eternity will be able to reward you in kind.
And to the intercessors, those who right now are praying for you, those who will be praying for you while you're on your trip and when you return, what message do you want to give to them? What should they be praying for specifically?
For the intercessors, I would say that the two of our main concern is safety and protection, and also the anointing, God's anointing, that the sick will be healed. There will be miracles, and that many souls will come to Christ.
Great. And Pastor, you've always taught us that there's 4 ways to get involved in missions, and we've already covered them. I'd like to add a 5th, which is to tell people about what you're doing. Many people, we have people who are praying, who are giving, who are sending, some who are going. But then with the technology that we have nowadays, it's so much easier to become an advocate. What would you tell to somebody who's watching this video, who's learning about missions for the very first time, who says, I like all this that I'm hearing? What would you say to them? How can they use technology to their advantage to be able to promote world missions and to get involved?
Well, in answer to your questions, they could use the means of social media, can use email, they can use YouTube, they can tweet, use all these different electronic media, and even messaging with the phone to, for instance, broadcast this video, resend it to friends and acquaintances, and put it in their Facebook as social media so that other people will become aware and acquainted of what's taking place and the great need of people that are yet to be reached with the gospel.
Well, that's great news, because there's so many people out there who probably are hearing this for the first time and want a quick way to get involved. This is the way to get involved. Start sharing this message. Become an advocate for the work that Pastor McKenzie, his team, and teams like his are doing in the 1040 window, getting the word out, the literal word, the gospel of Jesus Christ to people who have never heard it. So again, friends, we're only a few days away from this missions trip. Remember, the dates are February 13th through March 2nd, 2012. Please keep this team in your prayer. I want to remind you that you can get involved with world missions. You can pray, you can give financially, you can send somebody, and then you can go. But also, with this media that we have now, with the internet and everything you can do today, you can also tell somebody about what we're doing. You can tell it in an instant. So I encourage you to do that. And I hope that you've enjoyed this time, this conversation that we've had with Pastor Ernesto McKenzie from Iglesia Missionera, known as IMMV. Pastor, thank you so much for this time. Thank you for allowing us into your home to share what's on your heart about missions. And to all of you watching via the internet or however you got this video, stay tuned for more videos, more reports on this missions trip for 2012. And you can catch that exclusively at immv.org. God bless you.